Hi, this is North County PC Solutions, and today we're going to do an XP build with the ever-growing population of Windows 8. Not a big fan. I like 7, but not 8 or Vista. Um, Windows XP is going to fall off the face of the earth pretty soon as far as support from Microsoft. So I thought a few people out there that are gamers and stuff or are hardcore video kind of guys, they're really going to want to keep their XP machines. Having said that, if you have a Windows 7 or Windows 8 machine and you'd like to keep your XP, you could build it on a virtual machine and have it backed up. If anything ever goes wrong, you don't need to worry about reinstalling your entire system. So you don't go through the install process. You don't have to redo your install key, and you don't have to revalidate it with Microsoft. Once it's done, and you can keep a backup copy of it. Okay, having said that, I've already downloaded VirtualBox. It's for building the virtual machine for this. I haven't installed it yet, so the first thing you'll need to do is get this from Oracle. VirtualBox is really cool because it works on all kinds of operating systems. It'll work on multiple forms of Linux, multiple forms of Windows, and what's the other one, BCD or something like that I think it's called. It just works on a whole host of different types of systems. And it's great if you ever want to just play around with different systems on your machine, but you don't want to commit to changing your hard drive or anything. Pretty self-explanatory here. I don't like the quick launch. I want the shortcut on my desktop. File association, sure, why not? Okay, and it's just saying here that it's temporarily going to turn off my network interface card while it's processing all this. It's not permanent though. It goes without saying that if you're going to build an XP machine, a VirtualBox type of machine, you have to have a valid copy of Windows XP with the install key and all the appropriate information. I know I'm beating a dead horse on that, but I kind of do have to say that. VirtualBox is also it's a fun way to practice your networking penetration skills and stuff too, because you can run Kali Linux on it and you can run Backtrack on it, Black Ubuntu, or any number of other Linux distributions that are made for that kind of stuff. It's pretty fun. Okay, we'll finish that real quick. It's working fine. Let me just dump that in a box there. Okay, now we've actually installed the VirtualBox. First, before we can install an operating system on it, oh, wait a minute, what's this? I still have a sandbox in here, huh? Oh, wow. He kept some files from before. So we have Zorin. Zorin is a form of Linux. 8 is the abomination of all Windows operating systems. And let's see. We're going to go new. Well, first off, let's get rid of these. Just click on it, right click, remove. We don't need the sandboxes. What a sandbox is you're building an operating system in a controlled environment like this to try it out and to see if it's going to have any problems before you actually do a mass distribution of it on a bunch of computers. If you can do like a high level, what's the word I'm looking for? If you're going to do a distribution on a bunch of computers at one time, we're going to go new, and we're going to select XP, so it's already set to Microsoft Windows XP, and we're going to call this XP, whoops, caps lock was on, SP, and I've only got SP2 in this version, unfortunately, and believe me, right now it's really difficult to get your upgrades with XP, so if you can get it to go at all now, it's a good time to go ahead and get her done. And let's devote XP. If you're going to run games on it, I have 16 gigs of RAM on here, so I'm going to be pretty generous, and I'm going to offer about 4 gigs of RAM on my virtual machine here. And we're going to create a virtual drive that just creates a little digital miniature drive on your actual hard drive. Create that. This is the standard format used for VirtualBox here, so I stay with that. You can go dynamic. I like a fixed size, and I'll usually pick about 20 for an XP one, larger for 7 or 8. Okay, now it's going to create that. Now that'll take a couple seconds here to do that. Part of the cool thing about having a virtual machine is having this virtual drive right here, because at any time you can take this entire virtual drive and you can just dump it on another hard drive, so you've got an immediate backup right there. If something happens on your computer and you need to do a sweep or an install, you can just reinstall virtual machine if you lost that, and then you can just drag and drop this back over to there and you're good to go again. Virtual machines are used a lot in enterprise level equipment too. Servers that never go down and stuff, that's why if they start to fail, they seamlessly switch over to a virtual one. Gives the administrator time to fix the regular one. Also, for redundancy reasons as well, there might be a server on the East Coast that's transmitting information all the time. It might have a mirror image of it on the West Coast in case there's ever a natural disaster on one side of the planet or one side of the country. There's a backup on the other side. I think right here I'm probably going to pause the video for a little bit, and I'm going to let the finish making the virtual drive. Okay, now that the hard drive is completed, and here's the name of what we're going to build, XP-Service Pack 2. Let's go and let's check the settings on it. So we're on this one. Settings. It's our basic information. Runtime changes, clipboard stuff, system. Okay, so it's detected our DVD. We have a virtual hard drive, and for whatever reason it still thinks we can use a floppy. If you have a graphics card for gaming, here's where you could crank up your memory to your graphics acceleration card. I have just a regular motherboard without an accelerator in mine. You know, I don't have a high-end graphics card. If I did have, I'd click this right here, but I don't need that. Storage. That's the virtual drive that we created, the 20 gig one. Audio, if you have special audio drivers or anything. Network, there's different kinds here. Generally, the native works very well. I haven't had to change it from that. I have played with Bridge a little bit before, but native seems to work the best. And then you've got your ports, your serial ports and USB ports. But pretty much, unless you have a high-end graphics card, you can leave everything the same for this build. Okay, now all we've done so far is we've basically, through software, constructed another computer. It's a mimic of a hardware computer within one. So now we have to install the operating system on it. So to do that, it's time for your Windows disk into the DVD player, or CD player, DVD. And then once that's in, we're going to run this for the first time. And it found it. Start. And you can notice here in this virtual machine that it's just like doing it on a real computer. We're at the install screen right now. While Windows is going through its setup stages and it's just kind of dead air time, I'm probably going to clip the film in between these where it's just showing what it's doing at the bottom of the screen there. I'll probably just shorten these up just to the part where you're actually interacting with the install setup. Okay, so what's cool about this is since you're doing it in a virtual machine, you're not going to hurt your actual C drive by installing directly on a C drive. You don't need to do a modified install. In other words, it's going to be a straightforward install. Having said that, do setup XP, enter, okay, to repair. So we're going to do a new install on it. So we're just going to hit enter. Whoop, wait a minute. I forgot to tell you, you got to capture the keyboard and mouse by hitting the right control key. Okay, then you got to agree, F8. Okay, we'll go NTFS, and I'm going to do a quick format here because there's no real need to completely go through the formatting process. This drive's already been formatted previously, and it was already NTFS, so boom. Okay, so you can see that Windows is actually starting to set up right now. We've got the virtual machine set up, we've got Windows in there, and it's installing it onto the virtual drive, and it looks like everything's going well. From here, I think I'm going to pause the video for a little bit and let Windows finish this part of the install. When it starts to interact with us again, then I'll go ahead and I'll start recording again. Okay, you can see the install went well, and that Windows went through its own reboot process, and that it's actually starting up XP right now. Okay, now Windows is going into its configuration stuff. You just kind of follow the steps. And we will just call this admin. And everybody knows the drill here. I'm going to go ahead and punch in the install key, but I'm going to go ahead and blip this part out after that because it's not going to be passed around keys.